If you've been scrolling through endless gaming laptop lists, comparing specs, reading a few reviews, and still feel like you might end up with a machine that looks great on paper but falls short in the real world, this review is for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last couple of weeks actually putting the Lenovo Legion 5i through a typical gamer's day, from a quick coffee shop session to an evening marathon on the couch, and I'm going to break down whether it really lives up to the hype or if you'd be better off looking elsewhere. First off, the biggest hesitation most buyers have with a high-end laptop like this is the risk of overpaying for a set of flashy numbers that don't translate into everyday enjoyment. You might love the idea of an RTX 5050 and a 15-inch OLED panel, but what happens when you plug it in for a long gaming session, or try to run a stream while you play? The Legion 5i tries to balance raw performance with a visual experience that's more suited to creators than just gamers, so let's see how those promises hold up in practice. The screen is the most immediate differentiator. The 15.1-inch WQXGA OLED hits a crisp 2560x1600 resolution, and the colors are genuinely vivid. Reds pop, shadows hold detail, and the 1000 nit peak brightness makes HDR highlights noticeable even on a sunny windowsill. In a dark room, watching a cutscene in The Last of Us AI feels almost cinematic. That same panel works well for non-gaming tasks too. Photo editing, video playback, and even scrolling through a spreadsheet feels smoother because of the 165Hz refresh rate. The downside? The gloss finish, while making colors pop, also reflects ambient light. In a bright living room, the screen can get a bit washed out, so if you often game near windows, you'll probably reach for a matte protector or a more subdued lighting setup. Performance-wise, the i7-14700HX is a beast. It handles modern titles like Elden Ring or Cyberpunk 2077 at 1080p with high settings and keeps frame rates comfortably above 60 frames per second, thanks in part to the RTX 5050's 8GB of GDDR7 memory. Ray tracing is usable, though you'll need to dial it down a notch for the smoothest experience. The card sits in the mid-range tier, so it won't match a desktop-class RTX 4060 Ti, but for most gamers it's more than enough for high-quality visuals without choking the system. The CPU also shines when you're multitasking. Launching a game while a music production DAW runs in the background didn't cause any noticeable hiccups, which is a plus if you stream or record gameplay. Storage isn't just about capacity, it's about speed. The 1TB PCIe NVMe SSD loads open worlds in seconds, and the extra 2TB USB drive that comes bundled gives you a quick way to back up replays or move large video files without hunting for an external SSD. I noticed that after the first few games, the SSD's performance stays consistent, which isn't always the case with laptops that throttle storage under sustained writes. Now, let's talk about the practical side of owning this machine day to day. Battery life on a gaming laptop is rarely a selling point, and the Legion 5i is no exception. With the screen at full OLED brightness and the RTX 5050 running, you're looking at roughly 2 to 3 hours of gaming before the charger becomes a necessity. For casual browsing or office work, you can stretch that to about 5 hours, but anything more intensive drains fast. The good news is the USB-C port supports 95100W power delivery, so you can charge the laptop quickly while you're still plugged into a dock or a monitor. Thermals are another hidden trade-off. Lenovo uses a dual-fan, vapor chamber design that does a respectable job keeping temperatures in check, but under prolonged load the fans ramp up and become audible. On a quiet night, the whine can be noticeable, though it never reaches a point where it's distracting. The chassis stays warm to the touch, especially the palm rest area, so if you plan to use it on your lap for long periods you might want a cooling pad or a lap desk. Connectivity is solid, 2 USB-A ports, an always-in USB-A for charging peripherals, and a USB-C with power delivery and display output. Wi-Fi 7 promises low latency for competitive online play, and in my tests the ping stayed consistently low even when the network was congested. The 5MP camera with an electronic shutter is decent for quick video calls, though it's not a replacement for a dedicated webcam if you stream facecam content. Who should buy this laptop? If you're a gamer who values a stunning